Okay, I'm going to show you how I start. So I've got a knot, just a plain old knot. And what I want to do is go in under the fabric and come up where I want the beginning of my stitch, which in this case is about 4 millimeters away from the end of the last stitch and about 3 millimeters away from the edge of the seam. Now, I don't want to go all the way down and all the way up. If you think of the quilt as a sandwich, I want to go down through the top layer, through the batting, and up again. I don't want to get the very bottom layer. Okay, so I'm in the top layer and some batting. I've got my needle coming out where I want my stitch to begin. And I want to pull this so the knot is under the fabric, but not popping all the way out. Now this is a good time to trim this tail away from the knot, because anything that stays out, you have to kind of sweep away to get it in under the fabric. It's just easier to have a smaller tail. Anyway, okay, so now we want to pop this knot underneath this fabric. So we give it a little pull. If that's not doing it, sometimes it helps to just grab that top fabric and pull it tight. There you go. I don't know if you heard that pop sound, but that's what we want to hear. Now, at this point, you don't want to pull too tight because you don't want to pop the knot out of here and then have to start all over again. Okay, so for my first stitch, I'm going to go down the length that I want my stitch to be. And instead of continuing from there, I want to go back again where this stitch started. And just to kind of reinforce this, because what I don't want to have happen is that knot to pop out again. And then I've got all this stuff stitched and then that knot's out and then I have to deal with that. Now, if you can, going through the stitches of your, or the threads of your first stitch is great, because then it kind of locks things into place. If you don't, that's fine. It's not a biggie. Okay, so that's my first stitch done. So now I'm kind of guessing madly and trying to come up for my second stitch. So, I mean, in my book, consistency is key, but you know, really whatever you like. If you want to have some teeny stitches, some big stitches, some stitches close to the seam, some, you know, way out here, totally up to you. I mean, it's your quilt, do what you want with it, right? So far be it from me to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do. Okay, so just gonna keep ka-chunking along like that. And this is great for binge watching Netflix or something. You just keep your hands busy, feel like you're doing something productive, and get to catch up on all the seasons of your favorite shows. All right. So now I'm going to show you how I end. Let's say I'm running out of thread. You know, I'm going to have to start a new one. Okay, so let's say this is my last stitch. So I go down, and well, really it's the same as starting. Go down, come back up again at the beginning of that last stitch, and I go under that thread, that foofy bit there is where it caught on my fingernail or something like that. Okay, go through that and make a bit of a knot. And now I'm going around twice around my needle, and I'm making a knot there. In this case, it's about 1 centimeter from the stitch. It doesn't have to be. I've done it shorter if I was going to go down and pop up somewhere else, but you know, whatever works. And then go down the end of that stitch, again making sure you don't go through the bottom. Sorry, trying to keep my hands out of the way. All right, and we want the pop, and we might need to help the pop. There's a crack. There's the pop. All right, there we go. So now we just pull this tight and cut the threads, and make sure we don't cut the fabric. Alrighty, so that's that. So I'm gonna keep ka-chunking along and working on that, and I'll see you next time. Okay, take care, have a great week. Bye guys.